I'm asking the Council to issue a wireless proclamation, as has been done in Pembroke Pines, Florida, in Wyoming, and even in Turkey. People need to know that Wi-Fi routers, their cell phones and iPads, emit microwave radiation at low levels, much lower than your microwave oven. But even at these levels, it's classified by the World Health Organization as a Class 2B carcinogen. And that's, in addition, it's linked to reproductive, immune, and nervous system damage, because every study, every independent study that looked at cell phone users who used for 10 years or more, and they were heavy users, and that was defined as 30 minutes a day, had increased glioma. And for people who started when they were teens, it was a 5 to 8-fold risk. And even the American Academy of Pediatrics is calling on the FCC, who sets our exposure standards, stating that the current standards don't protect children because they absorb up to 10 times in the bone marrow of their skull. And I actually have a picture of that so you can see from a cell phone, because they have more liquid in their brain and their skulls are thinner and their heads are just smaller. Every device has fine print warnings that most of us don't read. I certainly didn't. I only learned about this, and I was shocked to learn, in fact, that are about 1 inch, under 1 inch for phones and for Wi-Fi routers and for printers especially, which is important when you have your office next to a Wi-Fi printer, 8 inches. And that has to do with the government standards, which when the government says something is unsafe, we really have to take notice, and they say they have certain levels. So what I want to read to you is a letter that Tracy Franz asked me to read. And she's in Pennsylvania, so she said, please read it far and wide. It's about her 21-year-old daughter. My name is Tracy Franz, and I live in Strasburg, Pennsylvania. On January 4th, 2012, my daughter Tiffany, at 21, was diagnosed with invasive ductal carcinoma in her left breast. Genetic tests showed no genetic predisposition in Tiffany or our family. However, Tiffany stored her cell phone in her bra against her bare skin for at least 5 years every day, all day, and the masses were found lined up exactly where she stored her cell phone. By November 2012, Tiffany had a left mastectomy, radiation therapy, and reconstructive surgeries, and we were convinced the cancer had been removed and obliterated by 6 weeks of radiation therapy. However, in March 2013, it was discovered via PET scan and MRI that Tiffany's breast cancer had metastasized to her hip, pelvis, spine, sternum, and skull. Tiffany underwent surgery to insert a plate in her left hip as a stabilizer and 2 weeks of radiation to treat the tumor that was quite sizable. She's currently undergoing monthly Zamenta IV treatments and daily tamoxifen treatments. In June 2014, this is right before she wrote me the letter, we were informed that her cancer has metastasized to her liver. The wording that is being advocated for is already in the owner's manual, which no one takes the time to read. Cell phone manufacturers know there is a danger, otherwise they would not include it in their verbiage. Have you or your family taken the time to read your owner's manual? Have you or your family heeded the advice your cell phone manufacturer recommends? I wish there would have been a warning on the outside of the box for all of us to read. My daughter may not have to fight for her life if it were. Tracy Franz. And if Tiffany Franz had known that there was the potential for cancer, she might have chosen to carry her phone off her body as recommended in the manuals, which no one reads. But she couldn't make that choice because she didn't have the information. And this proclamation, which I put together, has the information that people need to make educated decisions about their health. So I ask that you consider this proclamation to educate the citizens of Greenbelt about this issue so they can choose simple steps to protect their health. Because many women do put their phones in their bra, and men and women put it in their pocket, which actually I never have, but they put it in their pocket against their skin, and actually that is too close according to what the how it's tested for radiation, for thermal levels. That's just for heating, not long-term effects.
I'm a stickler about that. I do read warnings and I do read manuals before I read a product, and I actually use a headphone device wired to my cell phone because I read that stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And in there is cited what the EPA states, which is to reduce your exposure. That's what you would do, is a headset, speakerphone, and keep it off your body. But I didn't know that until I learned it.
You have to do the same thing with a regular a line telephone as well, because any electromagnetic device.
That might be a little different.
Actually, it's the same thing. The home cordless phones, and I didn't know that myself. The bases emit 24-hour radiation, so it is similar to a Wi-Fi router. So you don't want those to be. Actually, I have a corded phone now, but they are. It's constant radiation, kind of like a router, as well. A lot of people have their routers right near their computers, and those too are emitted. Even when you're not using your computer, the router is